Dear friends, welcome to this edition of Basic Anatomy course, Allied Health Sciences. Today, we will discuss Chapter 4, Lecture 3, Peripheral Nerve LS Longitudinal Section. Now, this is a familiar diagram we have covered in the previous two lectures. Now, we are looking at the axon that's best seen in the longitudinal section. Note these following three items: the internode, the node of Ranvier, and the myelin sheath. The corresponding labels can also be identified in the actual H&E hematoxylin and eosin slide like this. You see, the internode, the node of Ranvier, and the myelin sheath. Next, another example where the node of Ranvier is very classically seen, and there are two internodes on either sides. The indentation, particularly on the right hand side, is really very well seen in this diagram. Next, this is a silver stain. You can see how typical the node of Ranvier is, and that is a region where the myelin sheath is missing. You see, again, instead of one node, two nodes. You can also now see the internode, which is large enough, and it is immediately adjacent. In fact, between two internodes, there is always a node of Ranvier. Now, this is another stain. This is not silver stain. This is probably a Catechu stain. You can see the myelin sheath very clearly. The foamy region is very clearly indicated that the myelin has been removed during the tissue processing, and that is what is the tip of the arrow showing. In addition, you can also see the nucleus of the Schwann cell. That means that peripheral membrane that you see is actually the neurilemma. Then outer to this will be the endoneurium. So from the center of the axon to the center of the axon to the periphery, the structures will be axon, the Schwann cell sheath, that is the myelin sheath, then the cytoplasmic membrane, and also the nucleus of the Schwann cell. Outer to that will be the endoneurium, the connective tissue of the nervous system. Let's learn a few examples. The whole thing appears like a string of beads because node, internode. In that order, there will always be a small break between the two internodes. It appears like a string of beads. Or you could even consider this as a railway train that's carrying the oil tankers. The node and the internodes are very well seen. The tanker itself is the internode, and the gap between two tankers can be considered as a good example of a node. Ultimately, the whole thing looks like a long train. You see, that's the example, and that's the way we will compare and remember. Thank you.